Thank you, Mayor. You know, nobody becomes a police officer because they want to miss every birthday or anniversary or holiday. They do it because it's a passion. And I'm so excited to support this contract because it really does reflect how much we value our police officers here in the city of Houston. It's great to hear that officers who were thinking about going to other agencies have decided to stay and continue their careers with HPD because of this contract. And I just want to thank you so much for your hard work. I know how much time and effort went into this, and you really y'all have the greatest union, so thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that.
Vice Mayor Pro Tem Peck.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank both of you and all of our police officers. I'm excited to vote on this contract today. It's a lot of money, but it's needed and it's well deserved. We can't continue to say that we need more police officers in Houston and do absolutely nothing about it, but this is finally doing something. So thank you, Mayor, for your work on this, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Plummer.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you for pulling this together and doing all the work and the sacrifice that HPD does. I know this is not a contract question, but just because I have both of you here, if you would just allow me to ask you a question. In the budget, so as y'all know, law enforcement, community outreach, making sure that we interact with community. I know that the goal, the mission is that every interaction that you have with people, that you do the best you can to make sure it's a positive interaction.
Yes,
but with saying that, we also have to make sure that our community outreach piece is funded properly. Right now, I see that the budget changed from 14.5 to 13.7. That decrease obviously concerns me because I want to make sure that we keep that that section in the budget funded properly because outreach and community engagement is very important. Can you talk a little bit, and Chief, I know that you're very much out in the community and I know that you've had some ride-alongs with the mayor, et cetera, but can you talk a little bit about why you feel it's important to make sure that our interactions with the community are vital and what you're doing to not incentivize, to support that and to make sure that our community understands that HBD is a friend of our communities, and we're going to do our level best to make sure that that relationship remains.
Sure, nothing says community, right, like the police engagement. So for me, our community affairs does a fantastic job. They do such a great job. They're even going to do a better job moving back into the district that they represent. So no longer will they be boxed into Travis. Nothing says community relations than having someone in a uniform in a patrol car back into a station to meet the needs of each individual community. So a reduction in staff at the office, putting people back in patrol cars, using their unique talents as community affairs and community engagement people back into respective districts is a win for us, right? They can answer a few calls, work a crash every now and then, but they can also, as part of their daily responsibilities, be boots on the ground in the community so they can engage and visit with the people who we serve holistically, because this community is essentially 5 cities in one big one. It's very diverse, it's very different. So having the representation and the training that they've acquired from a community relation aspect back into the districts is going to help exponentially in our efforts to make sure that you're getting exceptional services. And I take pride, since I've been here, we've had a reduction of almost 40% internal and external complaints from the community, right? So we're working on it every single day. We have just an incredible team. I want to take a few seconds to recognize, because I almost forgot, the retirees that are here to support this, because they, 30 or 40 years ago, didn't get the luxury of such a forward-thinking council, a forward-thinking mayor, and I'll be honest, they suffered, right? These guys that came on in the 70s and 80s and 90s that are here supporting this contract, they got us here. So we're here with that respect, and the community engagement will continue. The budget discrepancy is so minuscule that everybody wearing a uniform is a community advocate from the police department. There's no differentiating them.
Okay, no, thank you. And then the other piece is we moved gang prevention and intervention into Dawn. Can you talk a little bit about why that decision was made, and why do you feel like it was a benefit to the city of Houston to make that shift?
Well, some of the areas that we serve are so complex, so closely tied to each other, that those apartment complexes, the Department of Neighborhoods, is better suited to take on those complaints, whatever the trash, graffiti, and those kinds of things. So helping with police officers in those communities to have face-to-face contact with those young kids. I'd rather have them face-to-face with a police officer and visiting and making lifelong communications, lifelong contact, rather than being on Facebook or on a cell phone, right? So our officers being engaged in those communities, partnering with the Department of Neighborhoods, it's a win-win. So we can, essentially, we have our hands in every little department. So where we can make a difference, a positive difference, then we'll make that effort.
Okay, no, that's great. And then, of course, I'm a crazy person when it comes to apartment reform, right? So speaking of apartments and the issues that we see in multifamily, high levels of crime, I am such a huge proponent of the Blue Star program. I know that it's shifted and changed a bit. We're trying to find some resources to make sure that we can bring it back to the level that it was before. Can you assure me that we're not going to lose the Blue Star program, and we're going to continue to look at multifamily and how to mitigate crime that happens in those areas?
So, again, we visited at the Coke Street apartment complex, right? So they've turned it around. I mean, it is full of kids. It's a vibrant community, right? So we want to continue that, and we can assure you that all they have to do is call the police department, call the actual district, and we have the trained staff to go out there and check and help them to get the complex better, safer for the community.
Okay. Well, I would love to be a bit more proactive, because oftentimes, the management doesn't really do what they need to do. So I would love to be a lot more proactive and just kind of where we see areas where there's high crime to make, that's hopefully when we make our presentation on apartment inspection reform next week, we can talk a little bit more about that. But I want to make sure that we're being proactive and bringing that forward and saying, listen, if you want to stay open and you have this many calls coming out of your or your complex, it is mandatory that you get this training, your management gets this training, so you understand what needs to happen moving forward.
Councilmember, just so you know, we track it every week.
Okay, yeah.
So each unit, whether it has 3,000 units, 1,500 units, 1,400 units, we're on top of it, and then we slide resources into that area. We saturate it because it's going to be the one or two boys, a couple of runaway boys or girls that are just causing all the problems. And if we can first provide assistance to that young person making bad decisions, that's our goal. And then second, to engage with the apartment management team to see that we're here to help them and not being a hindrance. Again, we're looking for cooperation before compliance always, because it just builds better relationships with the community from a police department aspect.
Well, thank you so much.
I just want to add to this, because right now we don't have the manpower to do some of the things that we'd love to do. Though it's not in the contract, this contract will provide for more officers. Once we get up to proper staffing, we can do the things like in the 90s. I was a gang officer. I knew every apartment manager. 7402 Calhoun, Miss Glenn over on Barberry. I knew all these folks. I could go in there and have conversation with them to address the issues that they had. We don't have the staffing to do that right now. We have to pull resources from another district to go over there and deal with these items. And the chief has done a great job about pulling these resources and moving what we need to do. But the problem is, you can't continuously do that. You'll burn your people out. Yep. So with this contract, we're hoping to get more staffing so we can have people on the ground daily to handle those issues, so we don't have to pull from other districts.
Yeah, so we're trying everything. I have a dashboard in my office. I track every overtime dollar. So we're trying, when we go out on the surge, we move people into the appropriate shift, so we're not taxing our budget with overtime dollars. We're just being smarter, being more efficient with the way we do the police or the people's business. We want to make sure that this office is the most efficient, because we get the biggest budget. So we're going to be responsible for the treasure that the city gives us in all aspects. So, and that may, my staff at Travis is reduced by 50% in 7 months, right? So we're moving people from Travis back out onto the street to make sure that where I can fix that, where I can put a police officer, so I don't have the 30 or 40 calls holding. So we're actually being able to respond to make sure that we're providing exceptional services.
Councilman Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just wanted to say thank you, Chief, and thank you, Doug, for all that you do. You know, the consolidations of the back office operations back to the city, financial and HR, that good business sense, and it's the right thing. But this is such a positive step forward in being able to hire and retain, but also, too, the improved morale of the officers is of huge benefit to our entire community. So I am certainly in support. I wore my blue for y'all today.
Thank you.
No accident. And thank you to all the officers who serve every single day and put your lives on the line. No doubt this is the most important piece of business we will deal with today and likely this year. And the other thing I just wanted to say is Houston deserves this. HPD deserves this. And thank you for all you do every single day.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, Doug, thank you both. Let me say, Houston is a first-class city.
Amen.
We have to act like we're a first-class city. And we have to step up like a first-class city. I am absolutely proud to support this. It's long coming. You know, during the whole process, I did numbers, I pulled numbers, I did statistics and pulled statistics. All of us around this horseshoe are blessed to live in a city that is, you know, a star in most people's eyes. We have out of the 5 top cities in America, we have the largest newcomers coming to a city in America. Those that like Google, pull it up. We averaging somewhere around about 43,000 residents. You got to have police. We are at the bottom. New York, L.A., Chicago. New York got 36,000 police. L.A., 8,000. Chicago, 12,000. Houston, 5,400. And you want to talk about salaries? We could talk about that too. But let me just say, I appreciate what you're doing. And Chief, thank you we had 5 town hall meetings. You've been to every one.
10 of them. I've been to 10 of them with you.
Well, you feel like it was 10, but it was 5. There's more to be done. Policing is not perfect.
No.
Amen.
But it's needed.
Yes, sir.
I've worn a uniform too. And wearing the uniform is not all physical, it's psychological. Now people talk about counseling and whatever. We offer to do that. See, one thing about talking, but what do you offer? We're working with POU, which is, I'm glad you brought that up, because we've talked about an initiative to where we can go into the community.
Yes, sir.
It was called PPP. You know, I didn't do it for folk to like it or be favorable of it, but it's something, rather than talking about something, doing something. Police, pastors, and people. And it's already in movement, already in action. We have to help the police department. And I just want to commend you guys for what you're doing, and I absolutely support this because I've spoken to the police officers. Morale is key.
Amen.
It's very key. And when you got to hit those streets late at night, going to the dark places, and like I say, police ain't perfect. There are errors, and we're going to see errors. But one thing is for certain, we all ought to support the men and women who put their lives on the line 24 hours a day. So I support it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Ramirez.
Thank you, Mayor, and congratulations, Chief, HPOU, and Mayor, for reaching this agreement. Most of all, congratulations to the rank and file who will benefit the most from this deal. It's a fact of reality that policing is expensive, and it is hard to attract folks to become police officers in this day and age. And in order to do that, you have to pay them commensurate to fill the ranks. And so to that extent, congratulations. With this contract are going to come expectations. You live with expectations every day. There are folks out there who think, well, you know, we just had the coding scandal. And I point out to them, that was the command staff. That was not the rank and file. It wasn't their fault. So don't hold it against them. We hear complaints about, well, response time is not good. Well, part of the reason response time is not good is because we don't have enough officers on the streets. So I hope to see progress in a variety of areas given this contract and the much better pay. But I appreciate your efforts, Chief, to try to be as efficient as possible. I know very early on when you took the job, we had a conversation and you talked about how you looked around the floor at 1200 Travis and you saw people who really didn't need to be there, really needed to be out on the street. And so you cut some of the police officers that were working in the office, and we now have more officers on the street. So hope you'll continue to do things like that and make your department as efficient as possible, because we all know these are trying financial times. And so please keep that up. We'll be looking to help you do that. And just, again, congratulations, and thank you for all the hard work you all put in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Councilor Evan Shabazz.
Thank you, Mayor. Certainly, love is an action word. And when you're in a relationship, you can tell people all day that you appreciate them. And so this contract is action to show our police officers that we do love and appreciate them. And I always, when I get the opportunity to talk to new recruits, new hires, I always tell them that being a police officer is a calling. It's not just a job. And so I always say that if you're just coming to go to work, then you need to find another place to go. But certainly, I want to thank you. Of course, with our CDSF funds, we do contribute and ATVs and things of that nature. But I really wanted to take this time to just thank you for the implementation of the task force for these noise ordinance. We have worked very, very hard on that, and we get many, many complaints from the people that live around those clubs. And so certainly for you all to step up and implement a specific task force is so greatly appreciated, because I know that my email box and some of the other council members are inundated with people, as well they should, because they are entitled to quality of life as well. So I wanted to publicly thank the mayor and you and the entire force for coming forward to actually show us love. And so just this is a good day in the city of Houston, and I just wanted to publicly say that I appreciate each and every one of you.
Well, Councilmember, it wasn't easy because we had to move staff, right? So it was about efficiency. So we plan to grow it, and we're working on a lot of things. It's not just that one. Right, that one thing, the destination area. These the destination. So we want people.
It's the district of destination, but it's the district of destination. But we don't want the crime and the noise to make its destiny there.
And I hear their concerns, so it's important to us.
Oh, we got